Hello there, this is Nancy Akpezu, and I'm so delighted to take this episode of Administration with Nancy. I am Nancy Akpezu. I'm a management consultant, an education consultant, a professional manager, an administrator, and a certified life coach. Sector for over 26 years now, and on my last job, I led a team of over 100 people in a school managed by a multinational before I resigned to start Peso Smith Consulting. And on this channel, I share videos on school and workplace administration and management and on personal development. So welcome to my studio. If you're new, please make sure you subscribe, like the videos, share them, and turn on the notification button. And make sure that you let your colleagues, your professional colleagues know about this channel, because guess what? There are lots of videos that you will really benefit on your job. Okay, I'm also the author of this phenomenal book, Dear Educator, and you may want to get it on Amazon or reach out to my website, www.nancyakpezu.com, to get your copy. Okay, so that is it a bit about me. In today's episode of Administration with Nancy, I'm going to share tips on how you can relate to the school board if you are a school administrator. In the course of my job, actually, I've been a school administrator in 4 reputable schools in 4 cities in Nigeria. And in the course of my job, I've had to relate to the school board. And I must say that relating with members of the school board in getting my job done has had its rewards, it's had its benefits, and it's not been devoid of challenges. And so I've decided to put together this video to share tips from my experience that will help you work very well with the school board if you are a school administrator. So let's get rolling. Okay, so number one, make sure that you know exactly why the school board was set up. Okay, ideally, every school board is set up to help in the management and strategic planning, to help in the direction of the school, to help in long-term planning and sustainability for the school. And so when a school administrator comes on board, if there is a school board already, you have to report your activities to members of the school board and get their input in decision making, and also make recommendations to them for approval to get jobs done, to get the school in the direction that they would want the school to go. So ensure that you establish why the school board was put in place, why it was constituted in the first place, so that you are on the same page with the members of the school board. Okay, that's number one. Number two, make sure that you set goals and agree with members of the school board exactly what is expected of you on the role. In other words, know exactly the results, the key performance indicators that are expected of you on this position. And so, because you may just be beating about the bush, remember you're going to be evaluated on your job, and it matters that you understand exactly what the board expects of you. If not, there's going to be a problem in your relationship, because you may think you are really achieving, and then they have their own parameters and expectations of you, which may be different from what you are doing, no matter how well you think you are doing them. So this is very important. Always remember that the board will evaluate your performance. And so you need to understand what the key performance indicators are. What do they expect of me? What is the time frame for me to achieve all of this? And for every school board that you work with, there actually may be a difference in the KPIs and the expectations that they have of you. So exactly what are the expectations for this particular board in respect to your position? That's number two, right? Number three, keep documents, keep record of your achievements. Keep record of all of your achievements. As a matter of fact, from the time you take over on your role as a school administrator, have an audit of the entire organization to show the level where you're taking it from. In other words, there should be a before and an after, okay, of your achievements. So when you join the school, take pictures. This is how the classrooms were, or this were exactly, and document them. Okay, so document everything you find on ground when you take over in respect to the expectations. so that as you make progress, you're also able to document all of your progress. This will keep you from being embarrassed when you ask questions, or even during the time that you're going to be handing over to another administrator. It will help to track all of the things that you have achieved on this position as a school administrator. Number 4, ensure that you send in reports regularly. On my last job, I made sure that I sent in a beginning of term report, a midterm report, and an end of term report. And if there was anything that was maybe significant that I thought the board needed to know, I would also do a report to them on it. So I had special reports apart from the 3 reports that I usually would send to the board every term: beginning of term report, a midterm report, end of term report. And in addition, I had an all-encompassing end of session report. So that is one way that you can keep them informed. Because the truth is, they may be so busy on their own jobs, I may not bother about the details that are involved in your own job. And remember, they need to know what progress you're making and what challenges you're facing. And what better way to do that than to put them in a report and send to them regularly. Make sure that the reports are regular. And I will advise that they are sent via email. Okay, advise the board to have an email address that is accessible to every member of the board and send it there. This will help you to also be able to track reports that you have sent in case anything goes wrong. Okay, was that number 4? Number 5, ensure that you understand the politics that goes on in the board. Every organization has its office politics. Okay, and the board members may want to play politics on you for one reason or the other. I don't know, whatever reason. And so when you have your documentation intact, it helps you to prove your points. So ensure that you understand the politics, the dynamics of how things go on. Who are the key decision makers? Even though there is a board, there are always 1 or 2 members who are more influential than others. And when you need to take decisions or get approval, it's nice that you run these things by members of the board before you have a formal meeting. Okay, number 6, a call for a board meeting whenever there is a need. Actually, you should have regular times for meetings, but just in case that does not happen and you need to maybe make presentations to the board or to get some points across to them, there is nothing wrong with requesting for a meeting. So you can write to the board that you have a presentation to make to them and that you would like to be heard on certain issues or challenges or things that you need approval on. Remember, you're going to need to have approval on the things that you need to do. You can't just wake up as a school administrator, no matter how zealous, no matter how knowledgeable, no matter how passionate you are about your job, and just start doing anything. You need to actually get approval from the school board, especially for major programs that you're introducing into the school, programs that weren't there. Okay, so all of this must have the board's approval. And when you get approval, please ensure that they are documented. And I'll advise that there's a hard copy of such approval that is duly signed by the board members concerned. Okay, maybe the chairman of the board after the whole board has agreed, okay, to the decision. So make sure that this is actually properly documented. Okay, I think I wrote down a few points. Let me see what I have here. And then try to develop a one-on-one cordial relationship with members of the board. It helps because informally, you may be able to get tips on how to get things done that may not be discussed officially on the, in the major board meetings. So this actually helps. Well, don't get so chummy that you get, sidetracked, or, you sound like maybe you're trying to do some bootlicking or, something that may not occur as professional. You could just have a nice cordial relationship and try to get tips on how things can be done. That will really help you as a school administrator. So I think I've shared about six points now. 7. Okay, so I hope that these points will help you if you're a school administrator and you have to relate with a school board. On my job, on some of my job positions as a school administrator, I've had to relate with a school board, but I've also had jobs as a school administrator where the owners did not think that they needed a school board, and we had to report directly to the executive director or the chief executive officer. And so it varies from school to school depending on the setup and the organogram and how structured the organization is. But all these tips will help you if you have to deal with a school board. And I recommend school boards because they have their place in putting checks and balances in the way that a school administrator functions. But I also urge that you help them to get a guideline that will help so that they do not get too involved with the day-to-day running of the school, which is your primary responsibility as a school administrator, so that there are no clashes and too much interference from them. So I recommend to the board that there should be a guideline. Okay, what kind of decisions? Because you should have some level of power to take decisions. You don't keep running to them for every little thing. That would be too cumbersome to run as a system. So what you do is decide with the board the kind of decisions that you need to run by them, and then decide also the ones that you are allowed to take authority to act in your position as a school administrator. So I hope that these few points will be helpful to you. Do you have any other comments to make about this? What has been your own experience in working with a school board? Would you want to share? Please write that in the comments. Remember to subscribe to the channel Nancy Ekpezu for videos on school administration and management, and also on personal development. Remember to like this video, remember to share it, and remember, very importantly, to turn on your notification button so that when I do video uploads, you do not miss out on any of them. So like, share, subscribe, turn on notification, and I will see you in the next video. Ciao, ciao. Thank you.